Welcome to Fireteam Chat, IGN's Destiny show. Thank you for joining us. CJ is joining me today.
How's it going?
As well as Sean Finnegan.
Hello, everyone.
Nice to have you back.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Yeah, nice to have you back also, CJ.
Thanks.
There is obviously a ton of content. If you are a Destiny fan, you know today is a big day because the Game Informer article is out. They have tons of info. We're going to get right into it. And the big thing that everybody's talking about, there's a lot of speculation, but there is one pretty concrete detail, and that is artifacts. And we want to ask you, and we're going to discuss which artifacts we are going to go for first, or we hope to get access to first. So the way the new artifact system is going to work is there are 8 class-agnostic special artifacts now, or with the release of Rise of Iron, and you're going to be able to acquire these from Tyre Karn. She's the new Cryptarch.
Great job, Dustin.
Whatever.
Great job.
Char Karn. She's the new Cryptarch at Fellwinter, and it's going to be a weekly bounty where you can get Iron Lord's Legacy token that can be turned in to buy one of her 3 available artifacts this week. So it'll take at least 3 weeks, unless it's randomized, to get all 8 artifacts that we know about. Now, those artifacts are Memory of Radagast, which adds a reflectability to sword-heavy weapons. You can reflect a rocket or Ogre's Blast or other supers like Nova Bomb or hammers with a sword. That one's really, really intriguing. Cool. It's going to change multiplayer drastically. How it works will be interesting. Memory of Perun. Guardians with full supers are highlighted yellow, and low-health Guardians are highlighted red if you have that artifact equipped. Memory of Jolder eliminates sprint cooldown. That should just be a thing in the game, but whatever. I'll just have that one equipped, like when I'm doing anything else where I don't need one of the artifacts. Memory of Silmar reduces any damage over time effect, like the one from Thorn Year 3. Thorn is coming back.
The question is there any other dots besides, like, I know the fire... what's the Warlock grenade that does damage over time? There's that, and there's also...
There's a Hunter one also that poisons you, sort of.
Yeah, and I think there's a... I should know this because I'm a Titan, but one of the Titan Sunbreaker melees I also think burns you over time.
Yeah, Hunter Blade burns.
Yeah,
all those are reduced.
It's to combat Thorn. That's pretty much that.
Yeah.
So
Thorn.
Yes, Memory of Fellwinter. This one's really interesting also. You lose your super, but you gain an extra grenade and melee charge, a boost to your stats, and orbs recharge grenades and melees. So this doesn't triple stack. So if you have Armamentarium, you don't get 3 grenades.
That sucks.
But you can ditch your Armamentarium. You have double punchies, you have double grenades, and then you can put on a different helmet. It's going to let you mess with your build.
That's cool.
Totally. And we were actually talking about this a little bit before the show the other day, me and CJ, but he was like, why would he didn't think that this would be good.
Yeah.
Or he thought you couldn't understand why it might be good. And I was saying, listen, man, I think it actually offers you flexibility, right? Like, there are a lot of people out there who, let's say, to use the example of hunters, right? If you're a hunter in PvE, you run Night Stalker because Gunslinger and Blade Dancer are not very good in terms of PvE functionality and utility, right? But using this artifact, those builds now become a little bit more viable because
more interesting.
Yeah, you're still becoming you. And what if that stat boost ends up being like 10% or 15% to your stats, like a significant stat boost where you're like kind of beefy, you get 2 melees and 2 grenades. Suddenly those you're just getting more flexibility with your subclasses.
Yeah, it just depends on how your intellect discipline, strength loadout is characterized. I mean, I'm not saying it's not beneficial, but yeah, it'd be one of those ones that I probably wouldn't use. I wouldn't give up a super for it.
This one I also really like. Memory of Gellion, detailed radar at all times, even when aiming primary weapons.
So here's the thing: is that's the detailed thing where it becomes 16 or 8 quadrants. Yeah. Double whatever the amount of default quadrants is in the radar.
Yeah.
That's detailed radar? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I do like that.
I do too.
I've long
that helps
complained
me in PvP
about Destiny's radar.
That one helps me a lot in PvP, so that one will be interesting. Memory of Scory, speed up super recharge for all nearby allies, but you glow.
This is so good for PvE, though, is the thing. Like, I love that they're doing something. So when they first introduced artifacts, so by the way, if you're not actively playing Destiny, artifacts was something they introduced in the last patch, in the last big update. But and there was a lot of speculation as to what they would be, but what they ended up being was not all that much, right? Like a couple extra boosts to stats and like a minor sort of like killing minions of the darkness increases super energy type thing, like a minor upgrade in terms of what it does for your playstyle. But we had always talked about them doing something drastically different for the classes, and it looks like Bungie's taking a big step in that direction now, where like that artifact, whatever artifact you're choosing, you're making an active, conscious decision instead of just like, hey, this one has int and discipline on it.
Yeah. So let me add to that in just a second. We have one more to go over. Memory of Timur. Melee low-level enemies to have them join your side for 30 seconds.
It sounds crazy.
So, like, you can have a minion, basically, that will attack the bad guys, a low-level minion, and that's really interesting. You can punch him again to have him snap out of it and go back to normal, or probably kill him.
Here's the question. Do you think you can mind control, possess more than one of these at a time?
That's what I was wondering.
Can you just
I didn't read the
around
print.
mailing the out of everyone?
I think
like an army of like
obviously
Thrall or something. You
they
know?
would have thought of that. I think it's like one. I think you get like one.
See, it bums me out because
It says plural though, low level enemies. So maybe
there you go.
it is.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't think you could have like 900 Thrall though.
Oh, I'm not asking for 900
but how
Thrall,
many
but all I'm
melees in
asking
30
for is a little
seconds?
bit of
I mean,
clarity
yeah.
because here's the thing: like Destiny, well, Bungie in particular has been not good about this with Destiny, where they're not clear on some of the verbiage for their abilities and stats and all that stuff, where things should stack and they don't.
Well,
that kind of thing.
We're gonna figure that out when Rise of Iron launches for
Like,
sure.
how did you know this double grenade thing doesn't stack with Armamentarium?
Because on the Game Informer podcast they said it doesn't stack
yeah, but how do they know?
because they played it.
Oh. Then it should say that it doesn't stack.
Fine.
You know
Well,
what
I mean, this is all from the Game Informer article. So,
exclamation
I mean,
mark.
they
I'm
gave
not
us
talking
the
about Game
basic
Informer. I'm
information.
talking about Bungie. Like, that should be written on the item. Like, this is not a stackable effect.
All this info is from Game Informer's article. So whatever information
I'm not
Game
talking about
Informer
now
has
this
decided to
specifically,
convey, we don't know. Maybe it will say that when we actually get access to that product. So we can't slam them for something we don't know concretely.
All I'm saying is, historically,
we're playing a
Bungie
game of
has
telephone.
not been good about
it.
communicating things that don't stack and stuff like that.
We're playing a game of telephone right now. Bungie told Game Informer, who told us this thing, and there are a few blanks left open, but we will figure them out soon when Rise of Iron hits. So, which artifacts do I hope land first? That was the question that we were going to talk about during this segment. The ones that really interest me: Memories of Radagast. That's the one where you can reflect stuff with a heavy sword. Not so interested in Perun, the one that highlights enemies. Sprint cooldown. I'll probably just have that equipped a lot, so I don't have to worry about sprint cooldown when I'm playing like campaign stuff. Damage over time, the Silmar
campaign stuff. I feel like that's the least effective part to have it. Sprint cooldown bugs me the most in PvP.
Well, in PvP though, there's other ones like the detailed radar Memories of Gellion that I'm really interested in.
It's certainly not the best one
the
out
super
there.
one where you get to like that. That's going to be really interesting. Speed up super recharge for nearby allies, but you glow. I mean, there's so much interest here. And during the Game Informer podcast, they did say that the reason that they're doing this is so that people can mess with their builds. Yeah. Basically. Right now, the artifacts just adds int and dis or strength if you stat that way. But this really opens up a whole new realm of possibilities. You're going to be like tweaking. You're going to have different build loadouts set for different types of gameplay that you use. And you're going to be switching between them. That's the only thing I worry about. I think it's going to be a pain if I hop into a multiplayer match with my ideal multiplayer loadout. I realize it doesn't work for this map and I need to swap it out. That's going to be a little annoying.
Don't you already do that?
Well, so
I do. I have like 2 totally different sets of gear for PvE and PvP. I feel like that's standard.
I'm saying map to map, I am going to be hopping in and changing my artifact along with my weapons. So I have to change my weapons now, and now I have one more thing that I have to change, which will be my artifact. And there's 8 of them. So that's basically every slot in my artifact thing, except for 2.
At least what's cool about this is that they're interchangeable between characters. Like,
yes.
if it had been like, hey, there's like 8 artifacts, and they're individual for each character, you'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
You know? So that piece of the puzzle I do like. Yeah, because when you're at least, switching back and forth and you're using apps, it's a non-issue.
Definitely. Which ones interest you guys and why? out of all of them.
I mean, a lot of them do very interesting things. Like, I was even thinking this one, we haven't talked about it much at all because it doesn't, on the surface, sound great. Guardians with full supers are highlighted yellow. Low Guardians are highlighted red. Memory of Perun.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good, like, how many times
Think
do you
about that
turn
in
the
Trials.
corner and you fight? Yeah, exactly. Think about it in Trials. Think about how many times you turn the corner and you're like, oh, I would have beat this guy, but he had a super, right?
Yeah.
If I had known that, I would have just ran away. Like, that actually helps you. The more... This is like a memory gathering, information gathering artifact, which in competitive modes like Trials is the more information you have, the much better you're off, which I think is great. This is like if you have some guy sniping in the back, or not even sniping, but like with a Mida or something who's spotting these things and relaying that information to the team, you're at a big advantage. So I think that's a really cool one. I think what I'll probably run by myself, like in just regular old Crucible, is the detailed radar one, just because that's super. I mean, I
love that one. I spec my hunter for that loadout specifically. I use Mida often because of that perk.
Yep.
You know,
I'm foiled by the radar a lot in Destiny, which is why I would want to use that one.
I can see. Is it pronounce the name for me?
Scory.
Scory. I can see the that one being a huge Trials advantage one.
Yeah. So
you're rocking like close in a pack in Trials
all right,
all the time.
Max Int. Who's exactly. Rocking Scory? Okay, you got Scory.
Yeah.
You'll
Who doesn't
us.
run Max Int?
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Well,
I run Max
though.
Int. Some people run a strength build though.
Yeah.
With their Titans.
They're idiots.
Yeah.
No, they're not, because you
Hunters
pop
too.
that bubble. and you're basically invincible, and you just punch people and they're
wombo
done.
combo with hunters and grenades.
Yeah.
A lot of people who do strength build as well in those matches.
It
Or
takes
shoulder
you until
charge.
the fourth round to get, with a strength build, it takes you until the fourth round of Trials to get your super, even if you're killing people.
But yeah, unless you're...
It's
Well,
stupid.
you can do max in strength.
No, I know, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a combination
Armamentarium is just so good.
I mean, we talked a little bit about this last week. It's a combination of play style, and I think especially for those people who are less aggressive, hanging out, to be either like the res guy or just playing a little bit more conservatively, that's definitely going to be a good perk or a good artifact.
It's a more support.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
But still, really, really cool.
Okay, so that was the topic I was most excited to talk about. Is there anything else you guys want to cover off on that?
I had a quick question. These are the 8 ones that they revealed.
Yes, so there was one more in the Game Informer article, and it says, like, for those in the know, there are actually 2 members of the Iron Lords who aren't accounted for. One of which is Lord Saladin, who we don't know what happened.
These are all named after fallen Iron Lords.
Yes, and there are 2 that are still alive, Lord Saladin and another one whose name I can't remember at the moment. But we might get an emblem or something, or not an emblem. What are these called again?
Artifacts.
Yeah, artifacts. Sorry, that relates to one of them. So that would be now. That's all 9 artifact slots in your inventory if you're holding on to all of them.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're never going to be holding on to all of them, though.
Well,
you're going to have like 2 or 3 that you use all the time.
It will settle. It's like everything in Destiny. There's going to be a new meta that settles, and it's going to be like, all right, do you have the 3 artifacts that you need?
So my question is, do you think that these are going to be the only 8 that we see?
I think we'll see one more maybe after you complete the campaign.
And it's definitely something that they can add this into it later. Like, it's really cool if you think about the fact that, there initially were no ghosts, and then they added those little details like, find spin metal or worm spore easier. This is just another piece of the puzzle that they, I think, can add at any time once they kind of see, hey, this is kind of maybe one of those little pieces of the puzzle that somebody from the community thought was a good idea even, and we'll add that in later. So.
Speaking of ghosts, wouldn't we love to see them do something similar to this with ghosts?
I mean,
just side note.
Yeah, it did feel, especially like the artifact, area right now was just another way for them to get you in a piece of the puzzle where you just didn't hit 335. Like, that is the one thing that I actually do not have of 335. It's like 330, I think, or 334. So hopefully it's just not one of those things. You're trying, they're just releasing them at different times, and oh, you happen to miss this week that this thing was out, and then you're waiting like another month or something like that. So
let's talk about other pieces of gear while you're kind of on that topic. So we know there's new armor sets, weapons, and rewards coming. Archon's Forge, the new cooperative area where you can fight a bunch of enemies. It lasts 5 minutes and ends with a big boss fight. That is going to have its own armor set. All new faction armor sets, all new Iron Banner armor sets. Iron Banner, by the way, is getting revamped, and the first mode is going to be Supremacy, which is basically kill confirm, CJ.
That's right.
So, also,
Dope.
new raid armor.
Kill confirm being a Call
and-
of Duty thing.
Yes.
For those not in the know.
Modern
Yeah.
Warfare 3.
Most
Clue us in,
popular Call of
CJ.
Duty.
What is?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, hold on.
What is kill confirm?
I'll explain in a second. There's also raid armor and Iron Lord's armor, and that's just what we know about right now. There's also going to be a record book, which is how you earn some of the gear. But to answer your question, Sean, it's basically kill confirm. You kill somebody and they drop a token of some sort. That's what it was in Call of Duty.
Yeah, so in Modern Warfare 3, that's when they brought it out. There were dog tags. So basically, in the game, everybody has a set of dog tags. When you kill somebody, I can get your dog tags, and that gives me a point. If you kill me on your screen, my teammates see that I've died and that I've dropped a dog tag.
Mm-hmm.
So you can rush over and potentially regain that tag, so the enemy that killed you doesn't get it. So it's a combination of it's still kind of kill based, but it's more about the collecting or the defending of it. So but it's a really good game type. It was actually one of my favorite game types that they implemented in Modern Warfare series after hardcore and deathmatch.
So you get points for killing someone, and then additional points for retrieving their dog tag after you kill them. But you can be denied those tags if their teammates grab the tag
Yes.
first. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, so then no
you can
points
kinda
for you.
save it.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a combination of, depending on how they do, the point calculation of it, it could be one of those things. It might affect maybe how much super you get too. I think that's going to be the cool thing with the variable. It's like, if you're getting dog tags.
You're guessing. You don't know.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
that.
I don't
Yeah.
know. But the way, that would be a very cool element. So there's
What if
actually
when you die, you drop an
incentive.
orb?
That's what happens.
It's like
If I get killed, you drop an orb like an engram, sort of like this, and you have to run over and pick it up. There's red and blue ones depending on what team you're on.
Okay,
There's
when
also
I said orb though, I meant specifically orbs.
Oh, yeah, to generate.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Got
like
it, got
super
it.
generation.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
But
that'd be
I
OP.
mean, who knows? There might be like the way Angel of Mercy is as like a helmet. When you revive your teammate, you get a little extra super. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something to that effect. So there's an incentive for you to actually get those pieces of the puzzle.
It won't be an orb. Then you would just kill yourself over and over again to get your teammates' orbs.
So about that and armor, Iron Banner's first mode is going to be the Supremacy mode. Also, Iron Banner's getting overhauled. There's so many details to go over,
Yeah,
so
it's
I am
crazy.
jumping all over a little bit. Thank you for keeping up with me.
Read the Game Informer article if you haven't already.
Yes, definitely. So Iron Banner's getting overhauled. It's going to have a new bounty and progression system. Getting to rank 5 is easier. There's no more buff. There's still an alt buff, but you don't have to wear class item shaders or emblems to get bigger rep gains.
That's a bummer. I kind of liked that about Iron Banner.
Yeah, but
now everybody's
going
to look different.
Yeah.
It ended up like everybody looked exactly the same when
That's
you went
cool
Iron
though.
Banner.
It's like everyone's like, it's Iron Banner week. Everyone's
Yeah.
wearing their Iron
Yeah.
Banner gear. We're
Yeah.
all fighting in Iron Banner. Like I
Rolling
thought it
in.
was cool.
All the emblems.
What really interests me is completing a bounty now immediately gets you an Iron Banner equipment or weapon reward. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that they're like, okay, do the bounties. Not only are you going to get experience points from them, but that's also how you acquire your gear, basically. So the reward screen, you get gear by completing bounties, and you get gear by hitting rank 5. I like that.
Yep.
I like
think that's
that.
good.
We'll see how it goes in when it actually happens. I'm very curious to see how Supremacy does in a mode like Iron Banner. That's going to be interesting. But Sean, you and I talked about this a few weeks ago. You were talking about trials and how you really want a way to distinguish, okay, that guy went 9-0, and I can tell because this, that, and the other thing. Not just like the name of their armor being different.
Or adept being in parentheses on their weapon.
Exactly. So now there's ornamentation. It's a new customization option that's going to allow you to stand out from other Guardians. It's not just color like Chroma, it's geometric changes like big shoulder pads, or you can get a fur trim. Those were examples that were given in the article. So trials specifically, if you go 9-0, you go flawless, you're going to get certain ornaments that nobody else is going to have access to.
That is very cool.
So that is exactly what we were saying we wanted, which is great. You're also going to be able to acquire some ornaments from Radiant treasure boxes. Treasure boxes, does that sound familiar to you? Microtransactions.
Like sterling treasures?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
So you can
That's
earn
good.
those. You can earn those, or you can buy a bunch of them. And there are going to be people with certain types of ornamentation that basically they purchase by buying a bunch of those,
new
or
dance.
earned. Yeah. Same idea, but I really like this idea. You can apply the ornament per armor piece, so you need to apply 4 ornaments to cover all 4 armor pieces. There will probably be more gears and weapons that ornaments work on, but that's all that's confirmed so far. I'm assuming you can use them on raid weapons too. That's what I have written down.
I mean, the ornament stuff sounds really cool. Like, anytime Destiny is, I mean, it's a hybrid, right? It's a shooter and it's an RPG.
Talked about artifacts.
And I think that one of the coolest things about the RPG element is, like, who was it who was saying this in the office? Someone said it's like playing with dolls for guys. Well, not just for guys, but it's like for
we
gamers.
had a Titan in here.
It's like
Yeah.
you know, that's what you do, is like you collect all this stuff, you level up, you shoot stuff, but what you do by earning these rewards is you dress up your doll and you look it on your character screen and you're like, I look awesome.
I
like,
fiddle with my character all the time.
All the time,
It is
yeah.
doll dress up for.
it really
Yeah,
is.
it is.
Like,
For fun
maybe it was
online,
Fran
yeah.
who says that, because
it's
Fran
Fran,
is
yeah.
Fran is the worst.
Fran
about
goes to the tower and
He
spends
has-
10 minutes.
he
I
has
can't play with that guy
Shade.
sometimes.
Fran has
Yeah.
he has a tower casual outfit.
Yes, he
An
does.
outfit that he wears just
Oh,
in the tower.
hold up. I gotta equip my tower casual outfit
casuals.
really quick.
Like-
Just give me a second. It's like, Fran, come
That's
on.
the most ridiculous thing I might have ever
but he's
heard.
not the only one. He's just the only
Yeah,
one
no,
of
no.
us
So,
who
but
does
that's
it,
exactly the point, right? Is like the more customization you introduce to this game, the more interest you actually generate for people like that who are so meticulous about their outfits.
I imagine
Like,
Fran like going to the tower and like, hey, how you doing? What's up?
Yeah.
Notice my matching outfit with a specific chroma. Fran, they can't hear you.
or he's just one of those players who like
Yeah.
he
Dancing with
walks
the-
around slowly on the same route,
Yeah.
just like in that nice outfit, waiting for someone to like start
Hey,
following
Cryptarch,
him.
what's up? Hey, everybody at the Cryptarch. Maybe you're not in your
It's
menu and
so
checking out
funny.
my sweet gear.
I mean,
Right.
like I feel like I'm like most people, where like I have a PvP set and a PvE set,
Yeah.
and what I'm wearing, whatever, just depends on what I'm doing at that point.
I have a cobbled together disaster because it has max int dis, and like I can't get gear that has the specific numbers that I need and able to like piece together something that looks cool.
How,
It's very frustrating.
how is that possible?
I try and do different combinations and stuff, and I can like I have this gear set that I really love the look of, but it's like max strength, but it doesn't have max int, and like it just doesn't work out for max int dis.
Oh, see, like I
It's
never
super
have.
frustrating for me
I don't wear
because
gear.
my Titan looks like a disaster.
I don't wear
Yeah.
gear sets unless they're optimized, which is
Yeah.
like, and if something
Oh.
doesn't bring me to exactly 300 disc and 300 int, then I don't wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
know?
Well, that's it. I'm wearing a set that brings me to max int dis, but it's like the Iron Banner helm, the raid arms for the Titan, the Prison of Elder legs,
Fail.
and like armamentarium, and there I have max int dis.
And you
I
look
look
like
like
an
a
idiot,
mess.
Yeah, exactly.
I might as well have Sparrow gear on, you know?
Yo, Sparrow
Like,
gear
yeah.
looks cool
Sparrow
though.
gear is
You look-
awesome. It's
You
my-
really
Yeah.
do look like a racer.
Yeah,
like,
that was some
it's
of my
cool.
favorite stuff. Like the Hunter helmet is awesome, and yeah, I'm actually wearing it. I was not a huge Sparrow racing guy, but some of the gear that I currently wear is the Sparrow racing stuff. It actually looks really good.
Really? Like
really
for
briefly.
not Sparrow racing
Yeah,
stuff?
it's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reining it back in a little bit. Really briefly, we do have 4 new Crucible maps that we'll get to play on, at
Nice.
least on PlayStation. Three Universal. We got The Last Exit on Istar Sync Venus. It's like a subway station. Remember that subway station mission from the
Yeah.
beginning of the game? Well, we're gonna go back there and fight.
How many of these Crucible maps do you feel have vehicles on them?
They're all medium sized, so none of these will.
Are vehicles
Yeah.
just like a memory of Destiny? Will they ever
I've
bring
never
them back?
gotten that moon map
I know.
since launch.
So,
I
Like
have a
they
few
updated it in year
times,
2. I'm
but-
like, I've never seen it again. What's it?
so
First Light?
Yeah,
there
I
was a
think so,
Reddit
yeah.
thread. There was a Reddit thread. Oh yeah. No,
Let me
there-
go over the maps. Save your thought. Floating Gardens is a Vex shrine on Venus. Skyline is on Mars. The receiving bit area at Clovis Bray Research Facility. It looks like Buried City. And the PlayStation exclusive is called Icarus. It's a solar collection site on Mercury, and it's the coolest looking one. Sorry, Sean.
Great.
But it does look really
More
neat.
platform exclusive stuff to alienate one huge part of the audience that paid the exact same amount.
Come
cool.
on over,
So you were
Sean. Come on
talking.
over.
I've been playing on Xbox, by the way. It's very easy to get. I took a level 18 to 38 in like an 8-hour play session.
Oh, I'm not going to
Yeah.
play on PS4.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying to switch.
am.
Anyway, you were saying about vehicles.
Do you think vehicles are just a memory of Destiny? Because there was a Reddit thread about this recently, but like some newbie Destiny player, or new to Destiny, not a newbie, he's
Yeah.
playing PvP and stuff, but he got that map, that First Light map with vehicles, the really really big one on the
And
moon.
nobody knew what to do.
And he goes,
and turrets.
he's like, when did they add this map? It's new, and everyone was like, this is an old
this is
map.
the alpha
Yeah.
and beta
Alpha,
map
yeah.
that everybody plays.
So I guess it's still kind of in the rotation for some people.
Yeah.
Like it does pop up from time to time if that Reddit thread is to be believed.
Oh, I believe him.
Yeah,
But I mean, I haven't
yeah.
played it.
I haven't played it in a long time.
time.
But it's awesome because when I did play it, I was a better sniper. Like I don't know what it was. Year 1 Destiny, nobody sniped very often. It was like kind of okay, this is a sniper thing, but let's do the close-up supers and everything.
Yeah.
Now it's just
no, that's not true at all. I sniped all the time on First Light. First
yeah,
Light,
that's
it was
what I mean.
behind the turret.
Yes.
Somebody would get in the turret, and you're like, all right, pop.
Boom.
All right, you're over there, and there was like that sniper wall on the back. I
That's what
love
mean.
First Light.
Yeah, there's not that kind of map in Destiny. There's like a couple lanes in Destiny in every map, but that was one of those maps that once you kind of got to the snipe game, you're like, yep, and you just kind of chilled at the back and you're waiting for people to spawn almost. That doesn't happen in that game often.
I felt like that was a decent control map. I don't know why they dished it from rotation to that point. Like
Well, vehicles, they never got vehicles right.
People learned how to. They just nuke the vehicle. Oh, the vehicle's up. Nuke.
That was the thing. Is like, well, so there was.
Oh, that dude's on a bike. Pop. He's done.
In beta, alpha, and like I guess the first few months of Destiny, vehicles were overpowered, and then they got nerfed so hard that they became underpowered, and then they just disappeared kind of forever. I find that really interesting because Bungie's the developer that nailed the trifecta in Halo which
2.
is guns, grenades, and vehicles. All
And Halo
of them
1.
work so well.
Yeah.
Like and so well together. I just can't imagine that they would have missed.
Every once in a while, I get
Destiny.
that. I think it's a Mars map where you have pikes that you can grab. But
wait, in PvP?
yeah, I think there's pikes and there's the tank. Yeah, it's the really long one though, where B's like in the middle, and there's the long lane with the 2 sniper pass.
Yeah,
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, it's not often, but it's weird because there's not many vehicles that really kind of influenced much of the campaign either. Like it was moments where you had.
Dude, you're right.
So,
like we keep saying this. We've said it how many I've said it specifically many times on this show, but like Destiny really needs to do something more with vehicles. Not even just in terms of PvP now, but like in terms of the raid, right? We want to talk about this new raid. What is it called? War of the Machine.
Yeah, War of the Machine. Let's go over what I have written down.
That sounds
here really quick.
super cool.
Oh,
I
sorry,
don't even
new raid.
know.
I have Wrath of the Machine.
Oh,
and
Wrath of the Machine.
Yeah. Players will be here's what Game Informer said. Players will be in for some surprises, and it continues the main story with its own arc. Raid hits September 23rd, Rise of Iron September 20th, described as a collision of a raid smashing shit into other shit. Takes place outdoors, and those areas can be seen while in patrol in the Plague
Which is
Lands.
super cool.
So, yeah, we saw the Death Zamboni, as they referred to it, and we've seen little pieces of it. We know there's like this big orb eye thing that it looks like you go into at one point. But that's everything we know about the raid. Fun fact, the raid, once it launches, the light level will be 400. Before that, 385. So you can go in 385 if you somehow hit that light level cap in the 3 days for the raid hits. And then the raid hits, and it'll be 400 after the new raid launches.
We'll probably be doing a live stream, right?
Yes, so
Stay
core
tuned,
level
IGN,
is
for
40.
that.
I'm building a team, actually, so if you want to play with me, just hit me up on Twitter at Destin Legary, trying to build a really core team for the raid.
But
And,
if you want to play with good players, hit up Shot by Finnegan on Xbox.
maybe we should build
Terrible.
an Xbox team and a PlayStation team.
Oh, I'll put
That'd be
you
kinda
put
fun.
your squad together. I'll put my squad together, and we'll see
right.
who makes it first. We'll run 2 streams at the same time.
Well, let's figure it out. We
I
have
think that
a
would
month
actually
of
be
planning.
real cool, right?
Yeah. PlayStation team versus Xbox team.
And what does it mean when the PlayStation guys beat the Xbox guys?
Oh, you
Would
guys think you'll beat my
defeat
squad?
That,
Means we got Destiny 2
More
of
exclusive.
PlayStation
Day one of
exclusives.
what was the last thing that we just played? Taken King. My team was on pace with the Gathalions team there for a good part of the raid.
This will be fun.
Until we got stuck on the ogre.
yeah.
What's the ogre's name again?
So you did.
Golgoroth?
Golgoroth.
Yeah.
Until we got to that point.
I remember you were like, I couldn't figure out the orbs.
Yeah, we couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
We were kind of doing it right, but we weren't doing it right.
Got it. All right, so we'll talk more about that on another episode.
Yo, but real quick about Wrath of the Machine.
Yeah.
If the raid does have significant chunks that take place outdoors, maybe there is a chance for vehicles to make a gameplay appearance, right? Like I always thought. So in King's Fall, you have like the jump puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Like, what if one of those interludes between the bosses was like a sparrow race, not a race where you race against other people, but
We
like where
talked
you
about
have to
that before, yeah.
outrun something that's chasing you,
like a Death Zamboni.
Yeah, or like
Maybe.
the ground is falling out from
Yeah.
underneath you. You have to like in the last
And
level of
instead
Halo
of
3.
a jumping puzzle, it's like get to the pikes and go. Otherwise, this whole thing's gonna fall apart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That would be neat.
super cool.
Yeah.
And like stuff's falling out from underneath you, and you have to avoid driving into holes and stuff or getting
Yeah.
shot. Like I think
That
that'd
could be really
cool.
fun.
And it's weird that they haven't done anything like that yet. I mean, not to spoil Halo 3, but the ending of that, long time ago.
It's 10 years old.
Yeah, it's 10 years
Yeah.
old. It had that element to it.
Not
and
to
it-
spoil this
yeah,
10-year-old game.
But it was awesome, and that moment was super
Oh my god,
cool
the
when you're
last level of
driving through
Halo
there.
3
yeah, it was
is
great.
part of why I rate Halo 3 as like one of the best
It was
Halos out
really
there.
good. But it's weird that they haven't done that yet. And I mean, they're even missing the whole aerial thing as well. I mean, that was one of those things. There's a lot of ground vehicles. For all the stuff that in Destiny moves in the sky, there's no aerial vehicles.
Oh my god,
It
can you
seems so
imagine though?
weird
That would
to
be
not have
such a
it, so.
huge like
be really
gameplay
cool.
extension, air vehicles.
Yeah,
They don't even do vehicles, just regular ground vehicles right now.
I know. Yeah, it's really, there's a possibility.
So I think I just decided to have a long episode today. We're just going to go over the rest of the news. We don't have a ton more to go over from my notes, but let's talk about the new and Reimagine Strikes and also the, where did I put it? I don't know.
A lot of notes.
Yeah, that open world mode where like you can fight people. Archon's Forge. Yeah,
That's
so
the cooperative
Archon's
arena.
Forge is a new cooperative arena. It's 5 minutes long. Ends in a boss fight. But the reason I want to talk about that with Reimagine Strikes is with the Reimagine Strikes, you're going to get one that's in the Plague Lands, takes place in a missile silo. They're redoing Devil's Lair. You're going to fight Sepix Perfected, and you're going to go back into the summoning pits that has an abomination heist. And at the end of those, sometimes a skeleton key will drop. And then if you get that skeleton key, you can go into the strike with the gear that you want and open the treasure chest. And then you'll have a better chance at getting the piece of armor that you want.
Interesting.
They did that in year 2, where if you do strikes, you have a chance to get cool stuff like a unique helmet or something from that strike. And that's something a lot of people like. So they're kind of improving on that. But in the social space where you can do the Archon's Forge, which require Siva offerings needed to trigger the encounter. So in that social space, treasure chests will pop up, but they're mimic chests similar to what we've seen in Dark Souls. So like you go and open them and they poison you basically instead of giving you something good. They haven't
sounds
really.
terrible.
It sounds
Why would I
awful.
want
They
that?
haven't clarified how you'll know if they're good or bad, or like what you can do, or if you can at all. But those are a thing that are going to exist. And another thing that's going to exist is calcified fragments 2.0. AKA dormant Siva clusters. There's going to be fewer to collect, but there is a calcified fragment type thing.
The Archon's Forge stuff vaguely reminds me of Firefight, the Halo mode. Because one, the rounds are also 5 minutes in that, and it's wave based, and it's like player versus AI.
I like it a lot. It's like Prison of Elders redefined, and I like it a lot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is what I really hope it is actually just the old Firefight from Halo, like from ODST, right?
Yes.
Like
That's what
that
it
was
sounds
really
like to
good.
me. And another thing, it's in a social space. So, like, if you only have a small group, then other people can join your group and you can do it together.
That's cool.
That's what they're encouraging.
Yes.
They're saying it's a mix between prison and Court of Oryx. So you can kind of go in, do this encounter, kill a boss, get your drop, and then get out.
I think that's what the public events were missing. Like that was a piece of the puzzle where public events kind of had that element of it. Oh, that was neat, but you could never kind of.
they were also
predict-
just too easy.
Yeah, they were too easy, and you just didn't know when they were happening, or that you could, there were apps again to like tell you, but you never could coordinate with people to actually do them. Like I don't know how many times. I think there's still things within public events where I haven't killed the boss and I need to, and trying to do that, it's like, ugh. It's rather too lazy or not enough people.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've been playing so much Halo recently in Warzone Firefight. I think they've just 343 has really perfected it. If Bungie could bring something similar to that, their sandbox is already built better for it because
Yeah.
of the whole. I mean, Destiny's as much a PvE game as it is a PvP game. Like I think people would really gravitate towards an activity that rewards that sort of sustained. Like we can keep this thing going because we're really good and we have really good teamwork and strategy. Against overwhelmingly or more increasingly difficult waves of AI enemies. I think that'd be super fun and super cool. Because like half of the fun in Destiny is just shooting stuff, right?
Yeah.
Give me a mode where I can, as long as I'm
Shooting stuff
good at
and the
shooting
slot
stuff,
machine
it doesn't
system.
end. You know, that would be really cool.
Shooting stuff in the slot machine system. Real quick, we didn't talk about exotics at all. Exotic Warlock boots are coming. We know the Kvostov 7G OX AR. It's a fully customizable AR. You can have a high rate of fire or a reasonable rate of fire. There's a RoboCop-like sidearm gun and a Siva-themed pulse rifle that blossoms out a cloud of seeking energy from a successful precision kill, and then Gallahorn and Thorn are coming back with quest lines to get them, but we don't know if those are... Well, Thorn's probably an exotic. I don't know about Gallahorn. We know is a legendary. So
What?
Gallahorn's a legendary?
I thought so.
What?
No. It's
Well,
it's an exotic
blasphemy.
weapon.
Okay,
isn't
maybe
it?
I'm not.
No,
Maybe I'm
I
wrong.
was
Maybe
gonna
I'm
say,
wrong.
that's
Okay,
gotta be
let's
an
assume
exotic weapon.
let's assume I'm wrong on that one. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Let's
That's okay.
pull.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
backpedal a little bit on that one.
If one of you guys want to
Exotic
Google that,
weapon,
yeah.
Gallahorn.
Wait, why did
Yeah.
you? What made you say that though?
I remembered reading that like it hadn't been clarified whether it was an exotic or not.
Really?
If Gallahorn is not
Oh.
an exotic,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
quit forever.
And the reason I thought of that is because like it's a pre-order exclusive. So we were talking a few episodes back.
The
You guys are
iron-
right. It's
the iron
probably
skin of it is a pre-order exclusive,
yeah.
right?
It's a
Yeah.
quest
The
where
black
you
one.
build it. So yeah, you get it. And it's probably an exotic. You're right. Sorry,
God,
sorry for the
better
misinformation
be an
there.
exotic.
Good catch, you guys. Thank you
checking.
thank you for busting my balls on that one. Totally deserve it. So that's all the info. I know this was a huge info dump episode, but there is one last thing that we want to go over on this show. And Sean and CJ, so we know Destiny 2 is hitting in 2017. There's a news article on IGN.com right now about that. Why don't you tell us, Sean?
Yeah, Jonathan Dornbush, our new news editor, wrote it up. But basically, Activision had an earnings call recently for quarter 2, I believe it was. And on the call, they mentioned that most, quote, most, their terminology, most of Bungie is now working on Destiny 2, which means like we can take it to mean that this Rise of Iron content drop is probably the
It's
last
the bow
significant
on Destiny 1, basically.
Yeah, this is the swan song of Destiny, the first iteration of the game, right? So we can safely assume that we'll probably be getting smaller events like, SRLs and other
that's
things of the
confirmed.
like.
We are getting SRL. We're getting like a new Halloween event.
Right.
That's confirmed.
And that stuff will probably
new
take
masks.
us
We're going to get
through-
new masks to take up more of our vault space.
Right, but that'll probably that will probably be all there is in terms of taking us through to Destiny 2, which hits sometime in 2017.
Yeah.
Man, like I think we've talked about this. When do we see Destiny 2 hitting in 2017? Is this an early 2017, like a March or an April, or is this like a
I hope
holiday 2017?
I hope it's a summer release, but I also kind of hope they have enough time to make a
Here's a
fucking
question:
awesome
what was
game.
Destiny 1? When did that?
I have to bleep
release?
the podcast for the first time. Anyway, so it released in September. That's why Rise of Iron is
yeah,
year
you're right.
3.
14.
So I think that Destiny 2 will launch in September, just to kind of keep with their release cycle. If they changed it up, maybe in August, but I would be surprised if they deviate from their very successful release schedule at this point. I am a little bummed. I hope we never got the Cabal raid that we were all hoping for. So, like, is that just something we're going to get in Destiny 2?
That's
Hey,
a
man.
list that never came to be.
So we were
as it
talking at lunch, CJ, and we want to be positive about Destiny 2. So what absolutely needs to be ported over? One thing, we know Bungie likes it, we know we like it, and that's the progression system.
Yes.
The current progression system where you get incremental light upgrades and like you level up by just shooting stuff, we really like that with Taken King. And moving forward, I think because Bungie likes it and the community likes it, we're going to see that in Destiny 2. What else? You guys, can you think of anything that needs to be in there that's so good that you're like, man, I hope that system is at least in Destiny 2?
I mean, we were talking about, what do they do? Do they completely kind of take the story in a, maybe a past that is so far back it doesn't relate to anything in a way? Because, Grimoire-wise, you have to read...
We
It's a
know
mess
you're bringing your
sometimes.
characters, right?
Yes.
That's the thing. So
Yeah.
Hunter, Warlock, Titan, let's assume that those are coming back. Maybe there's just different... I can't remember. Somebody said one time, what would you create like a different type of weapon? Like like there's arc and solar.
This
maybe
isn't
Venom for green, or there's
Careful.
some kind of other.
Careful, CJ.
yeah,
We're not talking about what we want. That'll be a different show.
Right,
We're
right.
talking about what needs to come from Destiny 1 into Destiny 2. the systems that we like so much.
I mean, it's not a system, but just the gameplay, right? Like the gameplay needs to stay
Agreed.
consistent. Like
Agreed.
Gameplay
how
will
it
be there.
feels,
It feels really good.
I've said this so many times, but the reason people love Destiny so much is because how it feels to run around, to jump, and to shoot things is so good and feels so natural and so precise, like in terms of the way it works, right? And I think they need to not ruin that.
Not deviate too much.
Yeah, like maybe, the way Halo evolved over time into Halo 5, which is where it still feels Halo 5 still feels so Halo, but now you can charge and now you can dive bomb and now you can do all these different thrusts, right? Like whatever the natural evolution of Destiny's gameplay is, the gameplay itself can't really change all that much because the core of it is so perfect.
Totally agreed. CJ, you got something that you really liked about Destiny 1 that needs to be in Destiny 2? I
mean-
have one if you don't.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I will say this, that the community is, it's kind of not a functionality of game, but I've never played another game like Destiny in the past 6 years. Like, I was a huge Halo 2 player. So just that interaction with the community.
Yes.
Yeah, and the way that people feel responsible to introduce new people into raids and PvP and stuff. So I hope the community has that same kind of feel. And like dancing and emotes, like those gesturing type things. I hope that those things are all still there.
It's actually a really good suggestion because they have like stuff that's built into the game right now, like clan functionality, which is a good idea, but it doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they could expand on something like that and make clans something that like you and the players in your clan have better and more immediate access to one another
The
for events and
IGN
activities.
clan or group has something like 100,000 members.
I think it's the biggest one out there.
It is. It's still the biggest
crazy.
one because I made it so
I'm not in
early
it.
in the game.
Thanks.
And
Well, you
yet
just have to call. No, you are.
I don't
you
have
liar.
the tag. No,
You
I
don't?
No, I don't.
Oh,
think
we got to
so.
coordinate and make
We'll
sure you
talk.
get that.
Oh,
But I can
I know
only
a
let
guy.
like 25 people in on PlayStation and 25 people in on Xbox to get the tag. And this is
Right.
silly. Like I want like IGN everything to be out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say
It's like super special. If you have that IGN tag, you played with me basically because I'm the only one that can activate it.
I have a tag.
So yeah,
Missed it.
I made Destin
Missed
give
it.
me the tag.
yeah. Community progression and core shooting. What do you guys think needs to be in Destiny 2? I definitely think Trials and Iron Banner need to be elevated in Destiny 2 and in that game. But we want to hear what you think. Let us know in the comments. Firefight would be fantastic. Let us know more of your thoughts of stuff that exists in Destiny 1 that needs to be in Destiny 2. This is a huge info dump episode. Are there any final thoughts? Are you guys excited for Rise of Iron?
Very, man. I have not been playing Destiny much at all recently. I've just been playing so much Halo, but like I've been watching with a very, very close eye all this information that's being dropped about Destiny because honestly, like I really love Destiny. I want to have a reason to play it more so that the fact that this is right around the corner now, right? Is
about a month away.
is very exciting to me.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I mean, I've played a bunch of people in the community, who add me on PlayStation. And it's good. I think that this is, again, just going to, bring those people who strayed back a little bit. And, hopefully there's other little details. I know we're just talking about this for the September, but, Bungie's really good at, Sparrow Racing came out of nowhere.
Yep.
Like, that's just a complete new game
And was
type.
enjoyable.
Yeah, that they just created. So from that standpoint, and the last thing we didn't talk about is, what's the other game mode? Is it customs?
It's customs.
I mean, it has
They're
to be.
revealing it at Gamescom. It has to be
At
custom
this point,
games.
if it's not, it's going to be like, and obviously, if that happens, that's going to be a nice, tight little bow on the end of year one.
Crucible's tied up,
So.
single player's tied up.
Yeah.
For me, Rise of Iron is bittersweet. Yes, I'm excited about it, but if this is truly the bow that they're putting on Destiny Year 1, that is 3 years of my life.
Gone.
I've been playing
You're almost dead.
Sorta. I've been playing Destiny a lot for the last 2 years, and we're going into year 3, and that part of my life is ending, and Destiny 2 will start.
How many birthdays have you squandered
Yeah,
playing this game?
Many.
Yeah.
So it is a little bittersweet that we're moving into a new generation of Destiny, but also exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking towards the future. I tend to be a nostalgic person.
Yeah.
But I think we had a great time playing the game, right? Like I don't feel like it's wasted at all.
No. It's really cool that for a lot of IPs that get updated yearly, I've always been a fan of like not fragmenting the install base. So I love the fact that Destiny has had legs for so many years.
Yeah.
That's something that doesn't happen very often. And yeah, it's been great playing and meeting everybody.
You know, one thing I should tell you shouldn't continue into Destiny Year 2.
Well, I was trying to remain positive, but if you really want to say it,
Platform exclusive content. I would love to see that just go away.
yeah, that would
Parity
be nice.
between consoles.
I agree.
And potentially maybe PC.
Guys, we need to wrap it up. That's
You
a good
want that
point, Sean.
J-Rabbit. He wants Zen Meteor.
Zen Meteor.
Real bad.
We do need to wrap it up, guys. Don't forget, you can subscribe to IGN's Fireteam Chat channel on YouTube. You can download the IGN app on iOS, PS4, and Xbox One. And you can follow my adventures, actually, on twitch.tv/thedestin channel. And I'm actually streaming to the Fireteam Chat channel once in a while now also.
Hooray.
I did a test last night. Fran also streams there once in a while. And just hit up that YouTube channel, youtube.com/Fireteam Chat. That is a great spot to find everything in one boat up location.
Yeah. Boat up. That's your theme for this.
Yeah.
Boat
It's like a
up.
boat. It's like a
That's not
present. You open it, you
But
play
that's not a
800,
verb.
900
Yeah.
hours.
I
of
mean,
it.
I guess it's a verb now that you've made it one.
Yeah. I have fun with the English.
Boat
letters.
up. That's the new thing.
But it's been great. Yeah, a bunch of people added me on PS4 again.
Yeah.
Gibson Films on Twitter and the video guy with underscores in between. And yeah, it's been great playing with a bunch of people, you know, for Trials and Iron Banner and all those game types last few weeks.
And you'll be back for year 2.
I'll be back.
You're not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
So anything you want to plug before we head
Yeah,
out?
just add me or follow me on Twitter at Shot by Finnegan. Every once in a while, I'll put out call outs to play Destiny or Halo.
Yeah,
I'm
like
playing
for
a lot
your
of
raid
Halo.
team.
Yeah, which will be happening. I'm no joke going to make this happen. Your squad versus my squad.
This will be great.
And I think your squad's going to have CJ and Fran and stuff.
Nope.
So,
Oh, I see. All right.
but yeah, add me up over there. Send me a friend request and a message on Xbox Live if you want to party up. Note though, I get pretty sweaty in Halo. I'm a real tryhard. So I'm not saying I'm not going to say you have to be this good to play with me.
He's saying
I'm just
that.
gonna,
There's an
I'm
app
just,
saying that.
I'm just gonna imply it.
Yeah, he's just be like, yeah, you didn't make the team. Why? Just I got a full crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you. I'm not like, and I'm not that good. Like I'm not. I'm.
I'll play with anybody.
There you go.
There you go.
I'll play with anybody,
Canadian
but raids are serious business.
Yeah.
I want to win, and I want a team that I gel with, that can communicate and take it seriously and get it done.
I had to. For 2
guys are
years, I sat
hilarious.
next to Destin while he played Destiny and listened to him while he was raiding. And Destin gets real angry if
Yeah.
you're not doing what you're supposed
Yeah.
to be doing. So
I'm like, why are you over there? That's nowhere near where you need to be. You're just
There
supposed
was-
to be
Sit at
sniping.
the
One of
table.
my-
Oh, Destin's rating
one of
again.
my
Yeah.
favorite year
Yeah.
one memories of Destiny was listening to Destin try to reason with his team. He was so frustrated and dejected. He wasn't even angry at this point. He was just like, guys. He was face palming. He's like, I'm so tired. Can you please just do what you're supposed to be doing? It's so simple. And he was like imploring them to be better. And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. This is so funny.
Yeah. So anyway, if you want to raid with me, hit me up on
good
Twitter
time.
at Destin Legary. We're going to end the show there. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, Guardians out.